From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo. The Edmonton Oilers are going to the Stanley Cup Final for the first time in nearly 2 decades. The Oilers capped their run to the fourth round by beating the Dallas Stars 2-1 Sunday to win the Western Conference Final in 6 games. Here's the exciting final call on 6:30 CHED.
This game, this series is over. Edmonton's heading to the Stanley Cup Final.
The Oilers will try to win their first cup since 1990 and be the first Canadian team to win it since the Montreal Canadiens did it in 1993. No pressure, says Oilers captain Connor McDavid.
Obviously, we're a Canadian team. We got great Canadian fans, and it feels good to maybe unite the country a little bit and have something to bring people together.
Edmonton will head to Florida for Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final in the best-of-7 series set to open Saturday night. At nearly 4,100 kilometers between Edmonton and Sunrise, Florida, it's the longest distance between Stanley Cup Final opponents in NHL history. An admitted serial killer's mental state is expected to be the focus of a murder trial that resumes today in Winnipeg. 37-year-old Jeremy Skibitsky has pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder in the deaths of 4 Indigenous women in Winnipeg in 2022. Crown prosecutors have said the killings were racially motivated and that Skibitsky preyed on the vulnerable victims. His lawyers admit he killed the women and disposed of their bodies in garbage bins, but they argue he should be found not criminally responsible due to mental illness. They're expected to start calling evidence, including their own expert, about Skibitsky's state of mind at the time of the slayings. Jury selection is set to begin this morning in Wilmington, Delaware, in the federal gun case against the son of U.S. President Joe Biden. Hunter Biden is charged with lying on federal gun purchase forms when he said he wasn't a drug addict. And a Calgary Flames icon says he gets on well with the man he credits with saving his life earlier this year.
After returning from the NHL All-Star Game in Toronto in February, Lanny McDonald collapsed at Calgary International Airport. Calgary Police Constable Jose Sivas was among the first responders who worked on the 71-year-old McDonald, who recently treated Sivas to a day with a cup along with other members of the 1989 Stanley Cup team. McDonald says he and Sivas have really hit it off.
We share stories back and forth, and to find out a little bit more about his family, 3 kids, lives down in Okotoks. Didn't want any fanfare at all. He just says, like, I was doing my job.
McDonald says it's great to be able to support Sivas and first responders like him. David Bowles, The Canadian Press.
This is The Canadian Press. In sports, Connor McDavid and Zach Hyman scored power play goals, and the Edmonton Oilers beat the visiting Dallas Stars 2-1 Sunday to earn a berth in the Stanley Cup Final. Stars outshot the Oilers 35-10. Edmonton goalie Stuart Skinner made 34 saves for that win and says they did a fine job closing out a tough series.
It was obviously a great game. It was just a hard-fought battle through the whole 60 minutes. You obviously knew that Dallas was going to come out, and they gave us a hard time every single game.
The Oilers will face the Florida Panthers in the Stanley Cup Final. That gets underway Saturday in Sunrise, Florida. In junior hockey, Josh Bloom scored with 22 seconds left to lift the host Saginaw Spirit to a 4-3 win over the Ontario Hockey League champion London Knights to win the Memorial Cup in Michigan.